In the third section, now we will talk about the diagnosis of the lungs abscess and what's the differential diagnosis of the lung abscess, invasive diagnosis and empirical therapy used for the diagnosis of lung abscess, and also some associated risk with the diagnosis. So differential diagnosis of the lung abscess. Other non-infectious processes like which can lead to the formation of cavity in the lungs. We said that there is necrosis of the lung tissue and the cavity formation along with the lung abscess. If that is associated with some other non-infectious processes or condition, that comes under the differential diagnosis of the lung abscess. Lung infarction is one factor leading to the cavitation and abscess. Lung infarction. Infarction is the death of the tissue, or if that is present in the lung and it becomes black or infarcted, that tissue, that's the lung infarction. Any malignancy or carcinoma can also be in the differential diagnosis. These can lead to the formation of cavity. Sequestration, vasculitis, lung cyst or bullae containing fluid, not abscess, septic emboli from tricuspid valve endocarditis. So all these are the differential diagnosis of the lung abscess, but remember they are all the non-infectious condition. No microorganism is involved in this, and this can be the lung infarction, malignancy, sequestration, lung cyst or bullae containing fluid, and septic emboli, tricuspid valve endocarditis. Next, the diagnosis. Here in this diagram, you can see is the abscess with the level. So the diagnosis, chest imaging or radiograph. That's the chest radiograph. Detects thick-walled cavity. The CT scan provides evidence of cavitation, reveals underlying cause like malignancy, distinguish between the peripheral abscess from pleural infection. So diagnosis can be from the chest X-ray and the CT scan. Chest X-ray detects the thick-walled cavity is present, and then in the CT scan we have, it can provide us that if there is cavity present, or it reveals if there is malignancy, and it differentiates from the peripheral abscess from the pleural infection. So two diagnosis is by the chest and CT scan. Pleural space infection like empyema may require urgent drainage of the abscess. Invasive diagnosis and empirical therapy of the lung abscess. Invasive diagnosis is like transtracheal aspiration. If there is aspiration that can lead to the abscess, then we should remove that aspirated fluid through the trachea. That's the transtracheal, through the trachea aspiration of the aspirated material. That's an invasive diagnostic step. Then empirical therapy used includes drugs targeting the anaerobes. In primary abscess, we saw there is the anaerobes causing that, and then we should target the anaerobes in any empirical antibiotic therapy or therapy. Sputum collection for gram staining and culture, polymicrobial infection like putrid smelling sputum, which indicates the anaerobic infection. So the differential diagnosis, we have some conditions that should be differentiated from the lung abscess, and the primary feature of these is also the formation of cavity. That's one of the feature of the lung abscess also. So conditions like lung infarction, in which there is death of the tissue, and that can lead to the formation of cavity. Some other conditions that leads to the cavity formation that should be differentiated. Then we have some non-invasive procedures used for the diagnosis, simple like chest x-ray, that can give us the idea of thick walled cavity, and then we can also do the CT scan that's helpful in differentiating some important features. Then some invasive methods, like in aspiration we should do the transtracheal aspiration, really invasive step, and then we should do the empirical therapy, in which we use the antibiotic therapy that's targeting mainly the anaerobic microorganisms. And we already mentioned that anaerobic microorganisms can lead to the formation of foul smelling sputum and foul smelling breath, foul taste in the mouth also. So all these are characteristics of anaerobic infection. So sputum should be collected, and then blood culture of that sputum is done to find out if the infection is by the anaerobic organism or some other microorganism, and that is very, very helpful for the treatment of and for the beginning of the antibiotic. Again, the sputum sample is obtained by coughing and examined in the lab. It's important that the sputum should be collected, not the saliva from the mouth. And the sputum or phlegm is the secretion that comes out. Tell the patient how to bring out the sputum, cough deep, and then collect that sputum sample in the container that will be used for the culture. So the secondary lung abscess presents sputum and blood culture. Serologic studies for opportunistic pathogens, bronchoscopy with bronchoalveolar lavage, protected brush specimen collection, CT-guided percutaneous needle aspiration. So in secondary lung abscess, the different diagnostic steps are the culture, sputum and blood both, serological studies for opportunistic microorganism, bronchoscopy, in which the bronchi are examined and any secretions are removed with the lavage, and protected brush specimens, and CT guided percutaneous needle aspiration. So all these are different diagnostic procedures for the secondary lung abscess. Some associated risk with bronchoscopy is a spillage of abscess content. If bronchoscopy is performed, the abscess might spill, and then it can cause different infections also into other lung. CT-guided needle aspiration, the risk with that is pneumothorax, which is presence of air in the chest, and whenever the needle is entered into the thoracic cavity, there is chance of developing pneumothorax or air in the chest. bronchopleural fistula also develop. The fistula between the bronchi and the lungs can also develop as a result of the needle aspiration. So these are some associated risks with the diagnostic procedures that can be performed for primary and secondary lung abscess. In immunocompromised, early detection is important. Person is fragile, weak, and immunity is less. The risk of developing complications is more. So it's important that it should be diagnosed early. That was all about section 3. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.